Here we go. We got week 2 college football and some NFL. Let's go.
We doing everything they talk about. You know I'm everything a boss about. Not putting work and gotta toss them out. I'm really biting, they just barking out. I'm really riding, they just parking now. His street, what to talk about. See the big H when I'm walking out. Yeah.
Hey, here we go. Athletes Forum Podcast. What's up, Locker Room? Welcome. Appreciate you all tuning in. And we're going to dive right into it. We got week 2 college football and we got some NFL sprinkling. Yep, it's that time of the year. NFL season is officially here. All of football season is officially here. Europe's about to wrap up. College, we're starting to get into it. NFL will kick things off tonight as we got the Baltimore Ravens and the Kansas City Chiefs going for that three-peat. But, we'll dive into that a little bit down later in the show. But the first thing I want to dive into is some college ball because, we got a nice slate, I would say. It's not like the slate of games we had last week, but we still got some good games to talk about. We're going to talk about Texas, Michigan. We're going to talk about Iowa State, the Cy-Hawk game. We're going to dive into Tennessee, North Carolina State. Could be a big game. Colorado, Nebraska is going to be huge. Appalachian State, Clemson. A little interesting twist there. And then we got 2 NFL games, the Chiefs and the Ravens, which is tonight. That we'll dive into. And then tomorrow in Brazil, we got the Packers and the Eagles. So definitely a good slate of games coming up for us. And let's talk about it. And per usual, drop a comment. When we talk about games, let me know who you think might win. Let me know what your thoughts are on the game because it should be interesting. The first one we want to dive into, though, is the big one at the big house, game of the week, Texas versus Michigan. This is going to be a good one. Who's the quarterback for Michigan? All right, is it going to be Davis Warren, who was a former walk-on, replacing Alex Orji, who people thought was going to be the quarterback? Did Michigan lose too many people to the NFL? Texas, what are they? Quinn Ewers didn't have a great performance last week, but Texas did what they were supposed to do. They're probably one of the top complete teams this year in college football. So it's interesting to see how it pans out. I don't think we saw a full display of the Michigan offense last week. They might have been saving a little bit for this game, but this is going to be a good game. This is going to be a great game. It kicks things off Saturday at 12 o'clock. Texas, obviously they're stout. They got a lot of depth. Michigan's defense is top notch. William Johnson, probably the top cornerback coming out in the draft. So it's going to be a lot. I think Texas last year playing Alabama prepared them for this type of game, especially early in the season. So we'll see how they're able to overcome that. I think when you look at on the Michigan side of things, this is going to be a huge test. This game has playoff implications, so we'll see. But it's going to be a great game to start a great slate of games on Saturday. I think the line is 7. I think Texas will cover that. I think they're the better team. I think it might be a little closer because again, Michigan might have been waiting for this game, which explained their performance last week. But again, when we talk about quarterbacks, Texas has the edge here. We don't know a lot about this Davis Warren guy, so we'll see how it pans out. But I think the line is 7, and I'm gonna say Texas covers the line. Next game we got. I won't spend too much time on this one. I just want to say this. I have no clue what Clemson is. And they're going up against the Appalachian State, who has a rich history of playing top-notch teams, being competitive, beating some teams. They beat Michigan a couple years ago. JMU, they played James Madison last year in the big game, and they won. They upset them too. So App State has the culture. It's a beautiful venue. I've actually played there in college. That's a beautiful stadium, beautiful venue, has a lot of histories. I don't know what Clemson is. I think they might bounce back. The line for this game is 17.5 to favor Clemson. I'm going to say Appalachian State covers. I don't know if Clemson is that far advanced talent-wise where they could beat App State by 18 plus. So I'm going to pick Clemson to win possibly, but I'm definitely picking 17.5 for Appalachian State to cover in that matchup. What we got next? Ooh, the Cy-Hawk game in Iowa. This game is tricky Because when you look at one team like Iowa, they're not known for scoring a lot of points. And then you look at what they did last week and they put up 40. So is this a different Iowa team? Because if it is, their defense is known for being good. Base 4-3 defense, a couple, maybe some under when it comes to the line front, a heavy cover 4, heavy quarter concept type defense. Our defense in college came from the Iowa scheme, so I kind of have a feel of what that defense is like. But playing Iowa State, their rivals in the Cyhawk game, I have a stat here. Iowa leads this game 47 wins to 23 over Iowa State, but this game has always been close. Iowa State's kind of a tricky team. Not really, you never really know who you're going to get. They've upset Texas in the past. They've upset Baylor during the glory days. Is this another one brewing? We don't know. We'll have to see. The line for this game is -3. I say Iowa covers. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think, based on what I've seen from Iowa over the years, their defense has always been stout. I don't expect anything less in this game. Tennessee, North Carolina State, and this is the Duke Mayo Bowl. It's an ugly name, but nevertheless, Tennessee looks good. They put up a great performance last week. I'm gonna try to pronounce the name. Quarterback Nico Umalabe. Quarterback, freshman quarterback for Tennessee. Jeremy Bryson, if you're watching this, we know Tennessee is good. We know Florida's bad. Let's not talk about that game this year. Let's wait till we regroup a little bit. But Tennessee looks good. North Carolina State did not. North Carolina State gave up over 200 yards passing to Western Carolina. Tennessee, they're going to spread the rock. They have a very vertical passing game. They like those wide splits by receivers. I think that's going to create some mismatches for North Carolina State. The line for this is 8. I think Tennessee covers the 8. I think this is an easy cover for Tennessee. And North Carolina State, I don't really know. I don't really know what to think of them just yet. Again, the performance last week versus Western Carolina wasn't a great one. We'll see how they bounce back this week. They're usually known for being, balanced and stout and always putting out somewhat of a good performance. So we'll see how everything pans out. But I'm going to pick Tennessee to cover the 8 in this game. Game of the night. This one's personal. I had to do a little digging on this rivalry, and it's Colorado, Nebraska. I think the record is 49-21 in favor of Nebraska. When they say it's personal, it's definitely personal, as we saw last year. Nebraska, Matt Rule, they're ahead of schedule as from what reports are saying in terms of their rebuilding process. Again, we're going to talk about tomorrow. Freshman quarterback Dylan Raiola had a great performance last week. I think he put up like 278 or 238 and 2 touchdowns. He's the real deal. He's going up against Shedeur Sanders. We all know about Shedeur. Probably the opposite of what Dylan is, a little bit more flashy. But Shedeur's an assassin and surgical when it comes to in the pass game. The question is can Colorado's defense get away from playing so much man that they can mix in a little bit more zone? Because when they play too much man, for me, what I see is a lot of coverage busts, a lot of miscue contained, a lot of quarterback runs. Obviously, we saw at the end of the game last year. So what's Colorado's approach going into this game? I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of a Colorado fan. My Gators suck. So one team I'm excited to watch and has become much watch TV for me has been Colorado. So I'm excited to see how this plays out. There's also a coaching matchup, as I mentioned before, Matt Rule primetime. I would favor Nebraska Matt Rule in the coaching matchup. He's a little bit more seasoned and has kind of been through this. It has experience. There's a difference between like coaching experience and playing with experience. Deion Sanders, at least at this level, in my opinion, is still learning the coaching experience. Even though he's the GOAT Hall of Famer he's played, Matt Rule has more coaching experience when to make certain decisions and how to think, ahead, at least from what we've seen over the years. Line for this game is 7.5. I'm picking Colorado on the money line. Again, I like Colorado. I hope, I don't know if they do it or not. I hope they can find a way to pull this off, but this is going to be much watch TV. Definitely check it out. It's at 7 o'clock. 6:30 is it Central Mountain Time, whatever it is, but it's definitely gonna be much watch TV and something that we're all gonna have to tune into. It gets so personal that Nebraska linebacker made a quote about Shador, just saying you can't compare Dylan Raiola to Shador Sanders. They don't do that. Dylan is different. He's basically saying Dylan's a dog and Shador is not. Ooh, it's getting spicy. It's getting spicy. I'm excited to watch this, and it's definitely gonna be a fun one to tune in. So definitely, tune in if you haven't. But I'm picking Colorado on the money line to win this game if I was a betting man. All right, let's go to tonight's game because it always seems like we get Baltimore, Kansas City at some point, in the season. And this happens to be the first one. Kansas City coming off a Super Bowl win, going for the 3-peat, which hasn't been done in a while, or if any, right? We know what Kansas City is. Baltimore, they signed Derrick Henry. They're gonna run the ball, right? So it's really pick your poison. Do you want the physical ground and pound of Derrick Henry, or do you want to try to tackle Lamar Jackson in the open field? It's gonna get tricky, but this is gonna be a nice quarterback battle. The thing with Kansas City is they're known for usually starting slow. Hence, last year they lost to the Lions in their season opener. Again, it's the same type of game, a Thursday game. We'll see how that pans out. I think per usual, it always comes down to the quarterbacks, right? Lamar Jackson versus Patrick Mahomes is 4-1. Excuse me, 1-4. Patrick has the advantage. Patrick definitely has the advantage versus Lamar, and we want to see Lamar take that next step. This is Lamar's biggest hurdle, getting past Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. This is the new Tom Brady, Peyton Manning of this era of the NFL. So we'll see how it pans out. The line is 3 to Kansas City. I'm picking Baltimore on the money line. Again, Kansas City starts a little slow. I think the Ravens are going to find a way to win this game. I think defensively, again, Hollywood Brown being hurt, that takes a little bit of their speed from the wide receiver. So it's still kind of a question mark. Xavier Worthy, does he have the does he have the ability to kind of be that guy, that number 1 receiver, and number 2 receiver outside of Travis Kelce? We'll see. But I'm picking Baltimore on the money line on this game. All right. And then the last game, we're going to go to Brazil. We're going to go to Brazil. 2 teams that kind of are on similar trajectories. We got 2 great quarterbacks in Jordan Love and then Jalen Hurts. Jordan Love maybe a little bit more of that better passer. Jalen Hurts will give you the run game a little bit more physical, a little bit more. He is a great passer, but I think Love is someone who could dice you up in the pocket more consistently. 2 great running backs, Joshua Jacobs, Saquon Barkley, right? How do the defenses fare, right? Both defenses are young. Both defenses looking to make a comeback to, what they were in the past. Packers known for having a great rush defense. Philly known for being stout up front, but also having those back-end defenders as well, too, to complement that. Philly's defense has a lot of speed. They even signed linebacker for Tampa. I forgot his name. Devin something. I forgot his name, but he played at LSU. Good dude, good speed. I think he ran like a 4.3 at the combine. We'll see how it pans out. I'm going to take the Eagles. -2.5. Give me the Eagles. I think they pull it off. This game is in Brazil. So we'll see how it pans out. It's definitely going to be a good game, an exciting game as the NFL is back. But again, to recap our picks, we got Texas. We're gonna take the spread with Texas at -7. We're gonna take Iowa -3. We're gonna take Colorado on the money line. We're gonna take App State +17.5. We're gonna take Tennessee -8. And then when we go to the Chiefs, we're gonna take the Ravens on the money line in this game. Once it pops up on the screen, and then there it goes. We're gonna take the Ravens on the money line in this game, and they're gonna take the Eagles 2.5. We'll see how everything pans out. It's going to be a great 2 days, and it starts tonight. Again, we got NFL tonight, NFL Friday, and then Saturday we're going to that college slate. So we'll see how things pan out. On top of that, ELF playoffs, we got Paris and Vienna, and we got Rhein Fire and the Stuttgart Surge. Championship rematch from last year. My picks, I'm going to rock with the Surge to beat the Fire. I'm going to rock with the Vikings to beat Paris. I don't know why I keep picking against Paris, but I think matchup-wise, this one's is a much better matchup in terms of Vienna versus Paris and skill set. So we'll see. We'll see. But thank you all for tuning in. Drop a comment. Let's talk football. Let me know what you guys think. Share this with a friend. Subscribe. We'll keep this thing going.